Are you thinking of leaving corporate, but too afraid to make the move? Have you already escaped corporate, but are finding it hard to run your dream business? Are you wasting valuable time by attempting to figure challenges out on your own? We have created a podcast for corporate escapees running their own business. This is the Corporate Escapees Podcast by Build, Live, Give. We bring you first-hand experiences of guests going through many of the struggles you face each and every day as a corporate escapee. We get real with no corporate BS. And now, over to your host, Paul Higgins.
Hello and welcome to Corporate Escapees, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of people who are successfully running their own businesses, hearing their war stories and motivations for making the jump from their corporate gig. I'm your host, Paul Higgins, and our guest today is someone who got top grades at university, worked at one of the finest or a few of the finest banks in the world, but it was not right for her. She had a trigger moment and then she left. And what she left is to help people, or in particular, help women find their passion. This is a great interview. So what I'll do now is hand you over to Elies Hadi from Elies Hadi International. Welcome, Elies Hadi, to the Corporate Escapees podcast, brought to you by Build, Live, Give. We're going to get to know a lot about you today, but why don't we start with something that your family or friends would know about you that we wouldn't?
I really love Disney. Like Disney, yeah. So I love everything about the vision of it, like how it talks about where dreams come true. And I think that is not just what we see in Disneyland physically, but really how we live our life. So yeah, that's what a lot of people don't know about me, because I don't necessarily post everything Disneyland, but yeah, it's really, really what I love a lot.
Brilliant. And I've got to ask, have you been there?
Yes, I've been there. I just came back from the one in Paris in June. So I love that, like the fireworks, the sparkles, and I even got a mug just to like remind myself every morning when I had the coffee to, dreams come true.
Brilliant. I love that. My wife and my family went 2 years ago to Paris, and my wife had been to the original Disney when she was 10, so she'd had a bit of a break. And I've never seen someone so excited. She just, from the train station, she just ran and she was jumping up and down, and she was so excited to go to Disneyland or Disney World.
I know, right?
So, it was great. Yeah, it was very infectious.
Yeah, so you got it.
Yeah, brilliant. And look, I know you've had a wonderful career over 7 years in corporate, and now you're doing your own thing. But why don't you just take us through a little bit about your corporate journey and what led you to leaving?
So I did a typical thing. I studied what was on trend, which was like finance at that point, and then I went on to be in the banking industry. So I was there for about like 7 years. Since day one, I knew I didn't like it, but then what else could I do, right? At least that is how I think. So what really got me was like I was already like a living zombie. I dragged myself to work every day. I didn't like my job, but I still, bear with it.
Yes.
And then one day I had like a little argument at work, and that got me to like, I won't say a breakdown, but kind of like a breakdown. I really went to the ladies' toilet to cry for, I think, like almost an hour. I don't know how long I went missing, but I just went missing. And then I came back to the desk pretending like nothing happened, but obviously something did. So that was kind of like a trigger moment for me, that like enough is enough. And that got me really into deep thinking for about 2 weeks before I decided to leave.
Wow, that's incredible. And what was their response when you handed in your resignation?
Well, they tried to make me stay, as they always do, right?
Yes. Yeah, I did a good one.
Yeah, so no, yeah. So they tried to make me stay, and I told them it is nothing, because they thought it was the argument, but I knew it is not. That's just like a trigger or something accumulated over years. This
Yes.
is not, that's not the cause, right? So they told me, we can do something internal to make it comfortable for you so that you can stay. And I'm like, no, this is something personal. It has nothing to do with, no matter what changes, I'm still gonna leave. I don't like this role, and so on and so forth. So yeah, so I left. But I did promise them to like stay till the last day because they needed help. But apart from that, nothing changed my mind at that point.
Great. And always ask people, was it easier or harder than you thought leaving and running your own business?
It is easier to leave. It may not necessarily be easier than I thought to run the business. But yeah, but overall, it's worth it. That's all I will say.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
there's,
definitely easier though. I mean, if you think about it, now looking back, it will feel easier than I thought. Yeah.
yeah, great. And I get the sense that there's no turning back. It won't be you going back to corporate in the short term.
No.
No, that door's closed.
I believe they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, great. And help, through this 2 and a bit years where you've been running your own business, which we'll get a little bit more to in a moment. What sort of help have you got from, peers, from friends, from mentors? Tell us a little bit about, who's helped you along the journey.
Initially, honestly, I didn't get much help because I think people around me think I'm crazy. So the only help I get is new jobs. Like they're like, "Oh, do you need a new job?" And like I literally got headhunted more than ever, which is like why didn't you headhunt me while I was in the job, right? It's like it's crazy. I was like, was I so well, is there such a high demand? And anyway, so the first help I remember getting was I already had a life coach and a spiritual mentor at that point, but the additional help I get was definitely a business coach.
Great.
So that really helped me to fine tune the element that, I had zero background in because of the corporate background. So that would be the biggest help at that point, I think. Yeah.
Great. And what was the decision process you went through to pick the coach? Like if you sort of back engineer it, what were the key things that got you to go with that person?
It kind of happened organically though. Like
Right.
I think the universe like arranges everything. Everything just appeared like one thing after another right after I quit. So I didn't go and pick the coach, so to speak. Just kind of I got invited to another event to attend and so on and so forth. And pretty much a lot of it are like it is arranged. But the decision to actually hire is gut feel for me. I'm someone who really believes in that. So yeah.
Okay, excellent. And that now takes us to the build section. And when someone asks you, Alice, what do you do? How do you answer that?
I usually tell them I help men and women to find their passion.
Great. And I'm assuming people then say, how?
Yeah, so usually I help them through meditation as well as coaching. So through that practice, it will help them to get the clarity and the confidence they need.
Brilliant. And I know that, I've fallen off the wagon a little. I've got to declare around meditation, but the last few years, my health hasn't been that great. And I've been meditating, 10 minutes every day, and it's fantastic. I've just started it again. But what are some of the benefits you see from people doing meditation? If someone's listening to this right now and they're thinking, everyone always talks about meditation, but I just don't know if it's for me, what would you say?
You just got to find the right meditation. Because there are a lot of types of meditation out there. Like personally, I went for a silent meditation. It worked for the period it worked, but it didn't after that because I find it so difficult to continue that on my own. And then I fall off the wagon just like you did before, but that's not true because there are like a gazillion of there are the type of meditation that will work. And so I pick myself up back by using guided meditation. So to me, like, it doesn't matter what, that it is better to do it than not do it. So what I would say is really find the type of meditation that works for you, because what works for me may not work for you. And also give it some time, like be easy on yourself, be easy on the meditation. It takes some time to potentially see the results, but it's worth it.
Great. And what do you constantly see people, not doing that they should, or, in another ways, going around the long way to find their passion?
Trying to follow the crowd. So like the whole idea of finding your passion is to find that thing that is unique to you. Mm-hmm. And then they try to find their passion by following what everybody else is doing and what they think they should be doing. And that got them to a way longer route, when all along the answer is inside of them if they will just, tap into it, be it through meditation or be it through going within in whatever way that's available to them. And another thing is they try to do it on their own and then asking advice from people who haven't found their passion yet. So I think that's kind of the few pointers that I noticed.
Yeah, that's so insightful. And as far as your sort of ideal client, you described, men and women before, but tell me a little bit more about who's ideal. Someone's listening right now thinking, that sounds brilliant. I really want to talk to Alice about my passion. Who should be reaching out to you?
Basically, people who are really stuck in their corporate job and drag themselves to work every day, hate Monday blues, and waiting for the weekend. So people who do not like their job and really wanted to find something that, that you can really get excited to go to work and to have something that really on a deeper level, you want something that has meaning, satisfaction, and purpose in your life and your career.
It's amazing. I catch the train at the moment to go on dialysis, and it's just amazing just how sad people look on the train going into the city to work. And I remember I was that person for 18 years roughly. Like corporate was brilliant. Mm-hmm. I know you had 7, and I learnt lots of skills, so I don't ever take that back. But yeah, I just, now I'm full of life. I'm so happy doing what I'm doing, and I just see people that are, they just look like ghosts. What are some of the So what are some of the other things you've done to help people like that?
I really recommend meditation. It seems we are going around back to that topic, but it's really important because that's how I found my passion, and that's how I really believe. Because the thing is this, even if you don't find your passion overnight, which that doesn't usually happen anyway, but that meditation really gives you perspective, it gives you inner peace, and while you are finding your passion, you don't have to be miserable. You can just be a little bit happier, a little bit more peaceful, a little bit more fulfilled by going within and loving yourself and things like that. So that really helps in the beginning to help them start this journey.
Right. And look, there might be someone listening right now that's in a bank, in a really senior job like you were, whether it be, UBS or Standard Chartered, some of the banks you worked for. And they're thinking, look, this sounds great, Alice, but how do I balance financials with following my passion? I just can't see it. I feel like it's an either or rather than an and. How do you, if they're listening right now, what would you say to them?
What I would say to them is that it can be both, because it's a choice, right? So following your passion, of course, there is, as much as we want to follow the passion, there is also practical piece of it, meaning to say that you want to follow your passion that you are good at so that you can make money out of it. So that's like a very practical, very linear thing that we got to look at. And at the same time, it's really just about you believing that it is possible. But what a lot of people miss out is that they think that, following my passion means my hobby, and my hobby is singing. I'm not good at singing, and so I cannot follow my passion. But then the thing is, if you're not good at singing, let that be a hobby. But there gotta be something inside of you that you are good at and you love doing, and that people are going to pay you for that, but then you gotta find it. So
Yeah,
that's what I will say to them.
yeah, that's great advice. And
Mhm.
for you, I know you talked about Disney and the vision, and how dreams come true. What's sort of your dream for your business? What's it going to look like in 3 years, 5 years time?
In the long run, I can really see myself doing potentially a podcast like you. But generally, the idea is really to reach out to more people, because right now, a lot of my work are very intimate, very one-on-one, in person, or maybe online, but group setting, but it's not really a wide scale. So in the 3 to 5 years, I'm going to see it more like reaching out to more and more people in terms of public speaking, radio, TV, or even like podcasts, to really be able to spread the message through. And I can really see a lot of women empowerment stuff going on in the longer run.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, from the bottom of my heart, the more great podcasts out there, the better. So can't wait to have yours out there. And the thing I'll say is that it's always harder than you think. So you get the right team behind you, and you can launch it and improve it. I shatter when I listen to the first couple of podcasts I did now versus where I'm at now. But it's just a journey. So and I think I said before, it's good always trumps perfection. So just do it. Don't hold back. As far as your business, and how we've talked about some of the services you provide, etc. How are you going about improving your revenue? I know you said that it's something, a passion is where you can make money as well. How are you going about improving that?
I'm looking more and more towards the direction of collaboration, because I really believe in collaboration over competition, and that the more we collaborate, the more we bring more value. Because if it's just me, there's only that much value, right? But if it is two of us, then there are more value, and it's like a win-win for everybody. So that's how I'm looking to improve it more in the future.
Great. And can you give us an example? You don't have to name names if you don't want to, but what's an example of collaboration that's worked well for you, or you think is going to work well for you?
Yes, I recently started one that really worked, and I really will continue that. It has bring clients for both ends. So, because I do a lot of like the meditation and the coaching, but primarily more like on the coaching, right? While this person do a lot of yoga. So it's like a win-win. So I don't do the physical stuff like yoga, but then she did the yoga. So I will send people her way, so that you gotta move your body, you gotta just really be on your well-being in that space. So go to that space, and then whatever that arises out of yoga, because sometimes yoga does bring emotion, it does make you think about life and stuff like that, then they can use the coaching to really help them sort out your life issues. So it kind of goes both ways.
Okay, great. And how did you find that person?
It's a friend actually, but then we realized, hey, actually, it complements. So we kind of just try it out as more like, helping each other out. That's the initial intention, but it turns out to work out really great for not just us, but like the clients, because the clients are really happy they feel more supported, because it feels like they have 2 layers of support rather than one. And it is in the same direction too. It's not contradicting, right? So it's not confusing for the client. So yeah, that is one really great collaboration that I love, and I can see more of similar stuff coming up.
Brilliant. And as far as the challenges, what are some of the key challenges you are facing right now to continue this dream?
For business, I think the main challenge for me will be sometimes there are a lot actually, if you think about it. But I think right now the main challenge will be really to be flexible. And what do I mean by that is like, I'm continue evolving, right? But the thing is, sometimes I may get attached to what I started. Like what I started is that I want to find people. I want to help people to find their passion through coaching. But I am actually really good at meditation. but I didn't incorporate that initially, right? So as I evolve and as I grow my business, it's easier and more comfortable for me to stay in the comfort zone. So I can say that, I'm not going to incorporate meditation. But the truth is, people like it and I'm good at it and it is helpful. So I incorporated that only recently. So that is like one of the challenge in terms of being flexible and not being attached to what I think it should look like. And for 2019, I knew that I will be incorporating even more things that I already have that I have not incorporated. So that is a little bit of a challenge for me in a very, I think it's kind of a personal level, but affecting business. Like, am I aligned or am I doing what I think I should? So there is this constant coming back to myself. Is this what I want to do? Am I aligned? Is this helpful? Is it on purpose? That kind of stuff.
Great. And who's helping you with this challenge?
My business mentor and my own meditation too. So, because to me, at the end, it's really checking back to myself.
Okay, excellent. Well, look, the next section we're going to go into is the live section. And before we do, I just want to talk about the BLG tips, which are there to help corporate escapees, just like Alice, to rapidly grow their business, or as Alice has been saying, really chase that passion and dream. So you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Build, Live, Give. So please go and subscribe, and there's great material, and if you like it, get value, please share it as well with your connections. So as I said, the next section is the live section. And what are some daily habits, Alice? And I'm assuming one's meditation, but what else do you do to help you be so successful?
My morning routine, they are like everything. I call them like spiritual workout because, to me, they are like my spiritual workout to ensure I'm on passion and I'm on purpose. So you got that right, Paul, that yeah, it is. Meditation is one of them. The other part is journaling as well as reading. So the journaling part really for me is to do a brain dump in the morning because sometimes, like we wake up like with a gazillion things that we want to do. And sometimes it depends on which side of the bed you wake up, right? Sometimes you wake up feeling great, sometimes you just and so that's where I will really pour it out on paper and then I let it go because I cannot afford to carry this for the whole day. So it's like, okay, at least I give you 50 minutes to say all you want right now, write it down on paper, but that's it. We are not coming back to this, negative stuff. So that is like part of the journaling, as well as setting the intention for the day and to really practice gratitude. So that's kind of the journaling part, and then meditation, and the last part is reading. So that kind of depends on what I'm working on at that point, right? So if at that point I'm really working on deepening my spiritual practice, it will be a spiritual book. If it is like probably I have a launch and I really want to work on the marketing, then I will be more like honing my marketing knowledge and skill. So that is pretty flexible. So yeah, so that's like the three things I always make sure I do in the morning.
Brilliant.
Because how you start your day is so important.
Yeah, totally agree. And your boyfriend Derek, when he listens to this, so Derek, when you're listening to this right now, just mention to Derek, the support, what you feel and think about the support he's giving you through this journey.
I will definitely start with thank you that, like for being there, and most importantly for giving me the space to be who I am, to allow me to do whatever I want to do, even if it includes, like sacrificing some of the time that we were to spend together. But yeah, just really want to thank you for that.
Brilliant. Excellent. And the next section is the give section. So what's a cause or a community that you're passionate about and why?
I'm really passionate about women empowerment because especially because I live in Asia and I personally grew up in a very traditional Asia community. So I've seen so many of like women having to be the housekeeper, listening to the husband, and confining to whatever the society tells them to do instead of what they want to do. And I know they are not happy, you know, deep down. I'm not saying everyone is not happy, but that few people I know,
Yes.
they are really not happy because they are just doing what they think they should. So to me, it's really important to rise up as the women, to empower and inspire women that, you know, we can have it all. It's not necessarily that, you know, if you follow your passion, you're going to sacrifice your husband. That's not the case. You can achieve the balance of both the masculine and feminine. You can have work, you can have love, you basically can have it all. You just got to learn how to do that.
Well said. And the last section is the action section. So this is where I just ask you some rapid fire questions and get your quick responses to a couple of key questions. So the first one is, you know, what are your top 3 productivity tips?
So the first one is to really set your intention on what you're doing, not just following through the motion. And the second one is to chunk it down into small steps. And the third one is frequent break. I believe in having a break to like refresh your mind so that you're actually more productive than staying stuck on the chair or the wherever you are. So that's 3. Yeah.
Brilliant. And you know what, technology, so whether it's apps or you know, software or something like that, what do you use? You know, what do you recommend?
I actually use Pomodoro for the time management, so that they have like the timer to set 20 minutes, and then they will prompt you to go for a break, and then you set another, and then the 20-minute cycle start again, and then you're back to work. So I use that as a prompter to go to break and to stay focused.
Great, excellent. And you mentioned some books before, but podcasts maybe. You know, what are some podcasts that you love to listen to?
I really love Mary Folio, but I think like everyone is listening to, most people probably know that, but there is one that I really love. And what else do I listen to? Actually, I have not been listening too much. It's pretty much right now, probably like Oprah or Mary Folio.
Yes.
I think that's about it. I don't really listen much to podcasts than reading book these days. Yeah.
Okay, great. And you know, some parting advice. What's some parting advice you'd love to leave the listeners?
Parting advice will be that, you know, your passion is inside of you. It always has been. It's up to you to find it, and the sooner you find it, the happier you will be.
Excellent. Well, look, we'll have all the links to all of the information that you've mentioned, Elies, in this podcast in the show notes. So we'll have that, and also you can find more about Elies to help you find, you know, your passion at Elies Hadi, Hadi International. And once again, we'll put the links in there. But look, it was brilliant having you on the show. And as I said to you prior off air, and I won't go into full detail, but you know, your LinkedIn profile was so impressive. You know, you can speak 4 languages. You had a brilliant corporate career, and now you're following your passion and really helping others. I think there's, you know, we need more people like you on the planet. And thank you for you know, as Walt Disney would probably say, following your dreams.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for having me, Paul. It's been a pleasure, and I'm really glad that, you know, you are doing this awesome stuff that allows people like me to share, and most importantly, that gives the platform for the corporate people to have, you know, not only the hope, but really the inspiration and the action steps to really follow their dreams as well.
Brilliant. Great. Thanks, Elies.
Thank you.
That was just such an inspiring interview with Elies. My top 3 takeouts. So one is that you must try meditation. So I'm sure that came through very clear. But the key thing for me was find the one that works for you. Don't just default to what works for other people. Find the one that works for you. The second is follow your passion and not your hobby. I think she made a really great point there. And then the last one is benefit of collaboration. She's doing some wonderful collaborations. And I think that is a great way to grow your business. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this podcast. Email me at paul@buildlivegive.com. Also, if you think someone would benefit from this podcast, please share it with them so that we can all help corporate escapees find both lifestyle and financial freedom. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Corporate Escapees podcast, brought to you by the team at Build, Live, Give. If you found this podcast helpful, please share it with other corporate escapees. If you would like to join a community of like-minded peers, please visit www.buildlivegive.com. Until next time, thanks for listening and be brave.